let's talk about the NXT Season 2 rookies. Now we've had 2 weeks of this NXT Season 2, and indeed our opinions starting to form on these new guys, these guys who have made it up from FCW, and it's certainly an interesting roster that they have. They've got some guys in there who we've been talking about for quite a while. Let's begin with Alex Riley. Now Alex Riley is a guy who's been really tearing it up in FCW. I mean, he has the ability to cut a promo like not a lot of developmental guys do. I mean, he is able to just bring that strength and sort of good skill on the mic to any promo that I've seen him on so far. As regards matches, well, this week he took on Caval, and of course he defeated him, which gives you kind of an idea of maybe where they hold him. They want to maybe push him a little bit, and I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think that for this season 2, I see Caval as being your Danielson, and I see what's his face being your Wade Barrett. Now I think Caval, the way he's kind of tied in with Lay Cool and stuff, is quite funny and quite entertaining. But for him to, I suppose, not so much job, but for Alex Riley to go over, I think it's probably going to be 50-50 over the next couple of weeks. One getting one pin, one getting the other. But I can see Caval not probably doing a Danielson on it, in a sense where he won't be the winner, but he'll still come out very well of it, I'm sure.
That's precisely it. That's what I was going to say. Caval is taking that Bryan Danielson role, and I think he maybe is now worried because he obviously saw Daniel Bryan going up, and I'm sure he knows him very well, but I would say that it's a case that he thought maybe, yeah, that's going to be my spot, I'm going to be pushed like that, and eventually I'll have an angle with Michael Cole. But it looks now like Danielson, maybe it wasn't a work after all, because we're not seeing him back.
Yeah, so which is kind of strange, but again, they have this kind of website poll thing going on now on WWE.com, which is quite interesting. I'm sure, like some people say, when the 90 days are up, they might pull him back in and whatever. But for now, he's certainly gone, which is a shame. But one thing I have to say actually about Caval is, I think it's about time, and it's a good thing that they're showing these video package they showed of Caval with the kind of Japanese footage and some of the kind of indie footage and even name dropping actual other companies and stuff, something that they've never really done. They're really kind of opening up to it, and it's good to see, and let him talk freely about it in his little promo thing. I thought that was a nice little touch to NXT this week.
It is. They are starting to become a bit more open, aren't they? They even refer to Ring of Honor as minor leagues. I mean, let's be honest, a few months ago, they wouldn't even infer it in any way. They wouldn't talk about it. They would never even mention that it existed. But like you say, maybe those doors are opening now. Maybe they're starting to see beyond that bubble. Of course, Cole famously in there, but I think even his eyes are being opened now when he sees these guys on NXT. But yeah, Caval is a guy who at the moment I think is standing above the rest. He's a little bit more noticeable. He's got Lay Cool, which of course is going to certainly make him something that you're going to concentrate on a bit more when he comes out, but not on him on those. But yeah, I mean, I think he can do well to play off that.
Yeah, and he's got a good kind of in-ring style as well. It's unique enough compared to there's not many people who have that kind of style, that martial arts style, really left in WWE. I mean, over the years there was a couple, alright, but these days there's not really many doing that kind of thing, and it's kind of refreshing, I suppose, to see as well. It's kind of cool.
Now another NXT Season 2 rookie is Eli Cottonwood. Eli Cottonwood, more like a kind of a Kane character before he got his head shaved. He has that kind of shape and build to his body. He certainly works like that, kind of a slow, methodical pace. And I think they could do big things with him if he was pushed in a kind of a psycho gimmick. But right now, it appears like he's babyface.
It does, yeah. He needs that definite psycho gimmick. You can see it in his look. I'm sure that's what they would go for, kind of a crazy... what was that dude called? Waylon Mercy, kind of a jive. That would be cool to see again, and hasn't been done really well, I think, for many years. So it'll be a nice place for him, I think, if they keep him on.
Now, also, I've had things to say about Husky Harris, but I have to say, I mean, I saw Husky on this week's NXT, or was it last week's? It all kind of bleeds into the next. But they were referring to him as a kind of a next coming of Dusty Rhodes. And certainly, again, this guy looks kind of like a Dusty Rhodes character. And yeah, they've obviously decided that's what he is. So whether it's good or bad, he's going to have to put up with it. But, I mean, he had some impressive kind of moves in a way. I mean, he did this kind of back splash, which took him right off the ground. And other things, I think he was kind of interesting as well on the mic when each of the guys were given a chance to speak and maybe give out about NXT Season 1 and what they've been doing. And Husky had few words, but certainly I think a guy who could eventually maybe become a bit more legit as long as he's not treated in a comedic fashion.
Yeah, this is it. I think sometimes it's amazing what a promo little video can do. Like, I mean, last week we saw him come on, we didn't really know too much about him and knew he was the son of, and saw the kind of smaller version of that promo video. But this week after watching it, I was like, oh, this guy's okay. He gets my thumbs up. We gave him a bit of a knock last week, but he's okay.
He is. I mean, I suppose maybe my biggest worry was not using the Rotunda name or even Rotundo, because they did change it slightly when he was in FCW. They took out that A at the end of it and put in the O. For what reason? I mean, who knows why they do these things, but it went even more dramatic when they changed him to Husky Harris. But I am starting to look at these guys a bit more clearly now, and I think him, along with Showtime Percy Watson, are certainly two guys who are doing well. Now, Percy Watson, once again, great guy in FCW for the gimmick, and certainly plays off the gimmick he had there, which is a flashy, maybe disco-y type entrance. In fact, he was in a team with Darren Young.
Yeah, the South Beach, is that what they call it? Some place where they like to party. But yeah, he's good in the ring and he's good on the mic and he's quite funny. He's kind of charismatic. He kind of gets over. I don't know if they'll hold on to him though. Some people refer to him as a kind of a second coming of Perry Saturn. I think that's a little bit harsh, but I don't really see him doing anything major in the long run. I think he'll be one of those kind of, I won't say an MVP, but maybe I will.
Yeah, and funny you should say it. I mean, the guy's teamed up with him, pro to his rookie, and that's probably a good sign of what the office are thinking. I mean, these pairings can tell a lot about what they think. They're not going to put a guy who they have a lot of confidence in to a guy who they have no confidence in. So, I mean, looking at the pros v the rookies, maybe there's more of a story to tell there. But Lucky Cannon, I've nothing to say about this guy.
Yeah, he is an odd one, for sure. He looks like he could be like one half of a good tag team. Don't ask me why, but as a solo guy, I don't know. But then again, I mean, the first time you saw Drew McIntyre, I thought the same thing. I was like, this kid's like, forget about it, basically. And now look what's happened. So, who knows?
Anything could happen with NXT Season 2. We don't know when they're going to start eliminating guys. Is it going to be a shorter season? Because I think they would have it down now, in fact, how long it's going to run. And I think, you know, all talk pointed towards fall, that this show was going to continue. And whether it would happen again, you know, to be honest, every time I look at it, it looks fresh to me. It looks like something that is new and different. And, you know, it's a new setup. It's a new work, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's better than the shitty CW we put up with for quite some time as well. So
that's right. And we've had to, you know, almost deal with the loss of ECW and then come across this NXT. And it was a bit of a change. Certainly they had been pushing developmental guys into ECW for a long time, so maybe the writing was definitely on the wall for that. But just to finish off, I mean, Titus O'Neil is another guy who was in FCW, and yeah, maybe I haven't formed enough of an opinion of this guy yet, but of course I'm not going to forget Michael McGillicutty. Now, Michael McGillicutty paired up with Kofi Kingston, And my big problem here is, why are you going to put video packages with Mr. Perfect in there when his name is Michael McGillicutty? I mean, what sense, reason or logic is there with that? I mean, it just makes no sense to me. Why are you going to push his background and then call him McGillicutty?
Yeah, I saw. You might have seen this a couple of days ago. There was an article saying the reason behind the name McGillicutty, and apparently it's to do with he wanted to celebrate his mother's side of the family, who was McGillicutty or something, as opposed to the Hennig name that was over